Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Russell Lavis. I am the event program planner with Spark Conferences, which produces the annual Atlantic Conference for Administrative Professionals, taking place each April in Halifax. Today, I will be your webinar chair. We are producing these monthly free webinars for administrative professionals each third Wednesday of every month to do our part and support administrative professionals during these challenging times we all face. Now, a few housekeeping notes before we begin. If you wish to ask a question or share a comment, please do so in the chat box. You might be called to read your comment out loud or to add to your comment. If that is the case, please unmute your microphone, and if you are brave enough, turn on your camera as well. It would be great to see some new faces. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce you all to our guest speaker, Valerie Simoneau. Valerie is a former administrative professional, currently Director of Operations for a high-performing real estate team in Hamilton, Ontario. She is also the founder and CEO of Elite Boss Coaching, where she specializes in the CEO method, and she will tell you more about this today. Valerie's mission is to help everyone create an environment where they don't feel like they are just in a job, but they are building a career. Valerie is also a wife, as well as a mom of 3 amazing little men. When she is not in the office coaching and training, you can find her in an arena or soccer field watching her children. Welcome, Valerie. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Russell, for that. So hello, and it's so nice to see some faces. I can't see everybody, so I'm just going to get started. And like Russell said, any questions, if you don't mind just writing them down and saving them for the end, that'd be greatly appreciated. So Russell mentioned a little bit about myself. So I just wanted to go into just a little bit more detail about something we're going to talk about today and something I'm extremely passionate about. For almost 5 years, I've been with one of the top producing real estate teams within Keller Williams. We actually hit the number 4 mark just recently, so pretty proud of that. The reason why our team got there was strictly because of not only the hard work of our agents, but the systems and methods we put in place for our agents. So we're a firm believer that the back end is the most important thing to any business, and setting us up for success is hugely important. So in the 5 years I've been in real estate, I've tried to perfect ways to keep things simple. So when we're onboarding, hiring new people, we can do so in a timely manner. So I've taken the last 5 years and I've condensed it into what I call the CEO method. This method isn't just for real estate administrators. It's actually, you could take this and implement this in any office. I'm not going to go into huge detail today about each method in particular. What I'm going to talk to you about is the number one thing, and that's the foundation, which is having the right mindset and coming into it as though you are the CEO of the business. So I know we have the administrative title, executive assistant, director of operations, whatever your role is. At the end of the day, we all know that we are the ones that are implementing all of the major things for our leaders, our bosses, whatever you want to call them. Today, I'm going to refer a lot to team, because before I was in real estate, I was also in the banking industry, and we were a team. So we have coworkers, we have colleagues, we have teammates. And our entire team, regardless if it's a real estate team or not, we actually run a real estate business. We don't look at each other as this is the administrative team and these are the agents. I don't call my boss the boss. We're team leader. We work together. We're all on the same page. So you'll often hear me use team as a reference. So I hope that's okay with everybody. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get to the right mindset in the industry as an executive assistant, and again, as a director of operations, whatever level you're at. So again, that's just a little bit about myself. One of my favorite things in the world is being a mom to the 3 amazing little men that I have. And if you think that you need structure, systems, all that stuff at work, my goodness, when you have 3, you need it right at home too. So I'm going to get into the first one. Our team is very passionate about having a yes, how mentality. versus a know why mentality. And typically when I host these webinars, I always ask if people know the difference. I'm just going to go into the difference. And basically a yes how mentality is accepting the reality of what's going on and moving forward to support and contribute. I think that actually sounds like our job description in a nutshell. We're here to support and contribute to the growth of our teams. So how many times has your leader asked you to do something and your first response is, no, I don't think I have time. No, I don't think I can do that. I can't simply add that to my calendar. I don't think I can fit it in. And if you have had that mentality and you have said those things, I want you to pause that and give this method a try. I want you to use, yes, absolutely, I'll get it done. Here's how I'm going to do it. And then you're going to extend it with even, here's when I'm going to get it done. So you have to remember that just because you're being asked to do it doesn't mean it needs to be something that's done in that moment. And it's taken me a long time to learn this method. I was very much, yes, I'll do it. I'm not sure when, but I'll figure out how to do it. So I want you to change your mindset around thinking this in this term. So using yes, how mentality, the next time your team leader, your colleague asks you to do something, yes, absolutely. Here's how I'm going to do it. And here's when I'm going to do it. You're giving them an attainable goal. So you know that if it's going to be today, tomorrow, I've got you 100%. I'm going to get this done. And here's when I'm going to get it done. Okay. It's really important that you add those 3 steps to it. I want you to sit and reflect actually for a minute on how many times you've actually said no to something. And then I want you to think, has it hindered your actual growth? Has it stopped you from moving forward? And you can use this mentality, guys. You can use this in your personal life, any outside career hustles you might have, and in your day-to-day operations. I think it's really important, and our team thrives. We use this statement in our office weekly. We have no why mentality in this office. No why accomplishes nothing. So that's the first step into thinking like a CEO. Is yes, I'm going to get it done. Here's how I'm going to get it done, and when I'm going to get it done. Having a yes how mentality in our industry is pivotal for our growth. It creates our energy flow within us, and that encourages our positivity within ourselves, and it gives us the confidence. And that confidence is reflected on team members, colleagues, people in your industry that you aren't working exclusively with. And just think about all the opportunities you miss when you use the know why. So I wanted to come in first with this one and get this one out of the way because this is the most important one. Having this mindset is pivotal to your growth. And one of the things I feel very passionate about, and I think Russell mentioned it at the beginning, is how if you're looking at building a career, these are the steps. I've done this. When I first started as an executive assistant, I think I was stuck in my head that a lot of times I'm just an executive assistant and I'm only here to do this, this, and this and serve the people that I work for. And it was overnight, I just had a complete mindset change where it's like, I'm not here to service anybody. We're supporting people. And it's because of the jobs that I can do, because of the value that I bring, our team is number 4 in Canada. So don't let people take away your thunder and your accomplishments. Those have to go noticed, okay? So I will not let anyone say, I am just an admin. I'm just an executive assistant. So the next one is a new one, actually, I started implementing, a team touch system. Touch, I know, can sound a little bit, you can change it to whatever word you want. But what we do is on our team, we do what we call an 8x8 and a 33 touch with our clients. So basically what that means is we have a system in place the minute we have a new client. We take them down an 8x8 touch system, which is a call, text, email in the real estate industry. Whatever industry you're in, you can simply, whenever you're adding a new client to the database, what's the first method you're going to connect with them? How are you going to extend that client relationship and build it? No matter what industry you're in, it's really important that if you work with clients, you're building the rapport for your team. So we've created an 8x8 system, which now is elaborately a 33 touch, which means we touch our clients. And again, touch might not be the right word in everyone's industry, but for us, it just means communication with them 33 times a year. As administrators, we are now implementing this touch with our team, our coworkers, our team leaders on different levels. So what is something that you could do to set up an 8x8 touch for your team? It could be simply providing someone a coffee one day, celebrating a birthday, making sure you document work anniversaries and celebrating them. What are you going to bring to the team to keep everyone feeling like they're appreciated and valued? Because that's another one of our jobs. It's not written in the job description, but as executive assistants, operations, I'm just going to use the word operations to sum it up. As someone in the operations industry, it's our job to make sure everyone feels special and taken care of. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we're really good at our jobs, because we bring that to the table when we start, even though it's. So what are we going to do to make our employees, our coworkers, our colleagues feel special? And I put just a couple ideas on the side. For us, we have client events. That's one of the touches we do. What we do for our team now is we have 4 huge events a year for them. Every quarter, we celebrate their successes. We celebrate birthdays. Now, mind you, as our team grows, having a birthday every three days, I mean, we can't keep eating cake 3 days a week. It's just not good for our health. So we've condensed it to celebrating birthdays monthly. Work anniversaries. A lot of people forget when they start with us. Imagine that little added touch when they come in and you've done a little special something to their office, or again, another cake. Maybe you get sugar-free, gluten-free cake, whatever it is. But celebrating those things, creating a touch system for your team. Think about how special they'll feel. Guys, at the end of the day, you know what this does? This stops turnover. Because we all know one of the reasons people leave companies is because of the lack of value they feel. And that starts from the top and works its way down. And I'm going to tell you guys again, you guys are at the top. You guys are the backbone to every industry you're in. So, number 2 is, what are you going to do to create a touch system for your team? Call it whatever you want. You don't have to call it touch. Touch system for your team. Okay? Small ways to show you care and congratulate them on their accomplishments. I think it's huge. And it brings up team morale on any industry you're in. Know your company's culture. Guys, I feel really strongly about this. To turn a job into a career, you have to treat it like it's your own company. It does not matter. And I know I keep saying this, but I really want to drive this home. It does not matter what your job title is. Knowing your company's culture, do you know what your company's mission statement is? And if you're a smaller group, do you have a mission statement? If not, I want you to write that down right now, that your next step after this call is to go to your team leader and talk about a mission statement. Could you be a cultural ambassador for your leader? Meaning, imagine if you drove culture into your team, your organization so much that it just made your team leader at a higher level. People looked at your team more openly and more closely and really valued your opinions and your feedbacks into the community, the industry that you're in. Imagine if you exemplified the very culture in your company and it elevated your leader. Like, just think about that for a minute. Your actions bring growth to those around you. So I do call it the behind the scenes leadership. Leading by example, your actions encourage others. And whether we believe it or not in this, it creates an energy and a vibe around the office. When you're at the top of your game, don't you think all those around you are feeling the same way? So know your company's culture and live by it. If this is something that you see yourself doing for the next 15 to 20 years, you better invest in those 15 and 20 years. And this is one of the ways you do. And then the next one is to say, it's kind of in the same category, is knowing your industry. So for instance, on our team, I know our team culture and our mission statement is to build trust with our clients so our clients can build better lives. So we live by that. Whenever we have a conflict or we think of something, we're like, oh my gosh, is this building trust with our clients? And we stand by that. So the next one is know your industry. And the reason why I broke those 2 up is because I know my team and my company's culture. Do I know the industry's culture, the real estate industry? Is it a market center that I'm in? Is it another brokerage? If my boss, my leader has a question for me about real estate rules and regulations, I have to know the answer. And I'm going to remove half. I want to know the answer. I want to be the go-to person. So outside of your company, do you actually know your industry well? And wouldn't it be amazing if leaders were coming to you asking questions and you had the answers? Always be professional. And this isn't just wearing nice clothes to work and looking presentable. It's leading by example, as I mentioned before. Staying in true culture. No gossiping, guys. If there's anyone on here who is in kind of a hostile work environment or one that is very gossipy, I'm going to actually use a hockey mom reference I have, and I apologize for people. I live and breathe by this. The hockey politics world. It's just crazy. If I see a group of moms talking about children that aren't their own, other moms who are talking about other moms, I get up and walk away. I remove myself from that situation. I do that in work. I do that in my personal life. And one of the reasons are that energy is not worth it. It's harder to walk away from people you think you want to be friends with and colleagues you want to work with than it is to sit there and be in that environment. Imagine if you can walk away from that in the industry. You're at the water cooler, and I'm just using that as a reference. I don't even have a water cooler, but you're at the water cooler and everyone's chit-chatting. Imagine walking away and saying, you know what, guys, I just don't feel comfortable having this conversation at work, especially about a colleague, no matter what level, how we feel about that person. Imagine setting the example in your workplace, having ownership of your company. So no gossip. And if you do have a hostile work environment or you're stuck in situations, I'm going to give you my contact information. Call me because I will help you get out of that situation. I'll show you ways to remove yourself from that and still come out on top. And I'm going to actually promise you that. Not talking about others. In fact, when you hear others talking, I just mentioned this, redirecting them on the right thing to do. And it just gives you that sense of proud and ownership and taking just that responsibility and being able to say that I chose not to be part of that. I took the high road. That's brain power right there. Time blocking. Save this one. I squeezed it in the middle because time blocking is something that we're all going to have to practice and be better at. But it's strictly the most powerful tool for you and your leader. I time block for our leader time blocks for the team. It all trickles down. I know where he is pretty much, even on his days off, I know where he is. Silly, but using time blocking and sticking to it. So something that I do is I spend 30 minutes on Friday setting our team up for the following week. So before I leave the office, I know on Friday, and I mean, it's not a perfect system, but it really works for me. And I set everyone up for success the next week. So I don't leave on Friday without knowing what the next week looks like. I also take 30 minutes on Sundays, ensuring that that I've solidified the week, knowing where everyone needs to be. And then making sure when you time block that you're not allowing distractions and interruptions. If you have a desk or an office, close the door, put a sign up that you're working on your top 20%. You're creating a culture in your office and you're letting people know that my 20% is actually your top jobs, everybody. So I'm focusing on that right now. So no interruptions. You have to have boundaries. And I know it sounds silly, but you really do have to create boundaries for yourself. And that is if some of you are in an industry where after 5 o'clock, you're still receiving phone calls, but your day ended at 5, you've got to figure out another method. Because if you're at 5 o'clock and you're just getting home and sitting down with your family and your leader has called you because you forgot to do something or you need to do something for tomorrow, how does your entire evening now feel? So setting boundaries and respecting them. And you know how you respect or how you can set boundaries for success is by time blocking and sticking to it. It's not the easiest job in the world. I have my weeks where it's like I'm embarrassed to tell you guys, but I'm not going to lie that I forgot to look at my calendar. I just kind of winged it all week long. In fact, Monday was a wing it day. So time blocking is extremely important. And time blocking, if you're time blocking for a leader as well, time blocking and knowing that. So that way when you leave on Friday or you leave at 5 o'clock, there doesn't need to be any calls, texts, or emails after that asking about their schedule. Take 15 minutes before you leave each day to set the next day up. Number 7 is a good one. Be honest and trustworthy. This one speaks for itself, guys. How many of us are so nervous to say we didn't complete a task, or so nervous to say we didn't get something done, or to actually say you can't do it, you're not confident enough? It's all in your wording. So when I believe in the words, don't lie, do not lie. We have an open policy in our office where you can be open and honest. And in fact, it's more respected when I can actually go to my team leader and say, I know you gave me this job to do. I'm not able to complete it today. So what I've done, so I've identified the problem and I've given the solution. So what I've done is I've time blocked that for tomorrow, and I'm going to focus on that for 30 minutes on this day, and it will be done at this time. So it's your wording. When you go in and you say, I didn't get it done, I didn't know, I couldn't complete it. Yeah, I'll figure out when I'm going to get it done though. Just don't worry about it. You're like, there's no confidence there. And you're chipping away at your leader's confidence in you as well. So if you do have a problem, make sure you have the solution before you go and have that honest conversation, because it just shows you just how much more powerful you are at getting your job done. And I said, don't take advantage of this one. Really don't. Like, honest and trustworthy, guys, so many good things come from it. And if you're thinking like you're running a business, how would you want your employees to talk to you? And I do that a lot too. It's like, how do others on our team want to be treated? Because I'll make sure that I'm exemplifying that. So if they want an open and honest conversation, that's the person I'm going to be for them. You have to think like the leader on the team. You guys are the leaders. I will 100% say that a lot of the stuff that gets done, 99.9% of the stuff that gets done in that office is because of all of you. So you are the leaders. So don't forget it. If you're the reason you're behind schedule, that's on you. So we talked about that a little bit. Just having an open and honest communication is probably the second most important tool, right? Setting that up from the very beginning opens doors for so much good stuff, guys. Creating and implementing systems. So I kept this one close to the end because I felt that a lot of us get caught up in systems, and sometimes it's not all that fun. But I actually really enjoy systems because I enjoy seeing it play out. And one of the things that I do when I'm implementing a system is I make sure that when I'm implementing it in, and you'll see factor and behavior characteristics of your team and your coworkers, guys, it's super important. So if you have someone on your team who learns more visually than written down, when you're implementing a system, ensure that you have both systems in place. And it might seem like a little bit of work for you, but it really isn't. Imagine if you were to write out a new system that you were launching and you wanted to present to your team and talk about it. And then you do a quick video of the implementation and what it looks like at the same time, and you launch them both. My God, it'll eliminate so many questions because you can say, refer to the video. In our office right now, because of COVID, we were working from home. And one of the most effective tools that we found for us was videos. I even just talked about it today to one of the girls that I work with. And it was simply when we had a problem, rather than sitting here texting somebody, writing it down, emailing, math, all that stuff, I did a quick how-to video. Guys, it's as simple as, guys, here's how to wash all your your dishes before you go home at night. That's a problem at our office. They all think that we're going to wash the dishes. I only wash my family's dishes and my own. So I did a how-to video on how to wash the dishes. Here's where the dish soap is, guys, in case you didn't know. And so what we found is it just eliminates the one-off questions or one-off conversations you have to have. How many times a day do you have the same conversation? Okay, I think all of us, it can make you go mad. So I just put it in a video and I send it out. We have a group text. So whenever we're doing information videos that are non-training videos, we send them out to our group text. In Google Drive, you guys can create a site. In that site, you can create a resource manual right inside. And you can simply put all your training videos in there. And so if a coworker has a question or your team leader has a question, you say, hey, that's great. I'm just going to send you the link right now. There, done. And they can watch it as many times as they want. I mean, we all have the good intentions that they're going to watch it, but we know they're going to come back to us. And here's what you do. Send them back to the video. That's great. Here's the link again. Feel free to watch it. If you have any questions that I may have forgot, please feel free to reach out to me. So you're just eliminating the one-off conversations that you feel you're having every single day. Just because a system feels right for us doesn't mean that others are going to understand it. And I think we take it personal when we create a system or we generate a new model for the team. We don't think that others are really going to understand it. So it's important that we make sure that we are implementing in a way that it's what they want. So you listen. So what we do before we implement a system is we ask them 3 questions. What is this type of system that you're looking for? How is it most effective for you? What is the easiest way to set it up for you? To me, it doesn't matter because I know I'm going to have to work 7 different angles of it anyways. But I know that if I can get 10 out of the 13 people here to use it, then I'll set it up the 10 people way. And again, I said it sounds like a lot of work, but it's worth every penny to work with everyone's learning style. That's what leaders do. We don't think about ourselves. We think about what works best for the others, okay? Make your system scalable for growth, guys. It took me 2 years to learn this one, and probably one of the biggest learning curves for me. When you create a system, say you have a team of 10, and you create a system for 10 people, don't do that. Create your system for 15, create it for 20, because when you're in an industry like mine, in real estate, we're onboarding people all the time. There's new employees starting that I didn't even know about. And so I have to make that system already scalable, so it already accommodates our growth. So never create a system for your current situation. Make it scalable every time you build, okay? So example, if you're a team of 2, build it for 5. When you get to that 5 mark and you've already start building it out more. And that could be your CRM, your client database, that could be your Google sites, training, whatever that is. Just make it scalable, guys. If there's ever a tip that you can take away from today, this is it. This took me 2 years to figure out. And I'm sharing with you today so you don't have to take the same 2 years as me. And then the last one with systems is when launching it. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. And the reason why I say this, guys, is because I know you're perfect. We love perfection. We love attention to detail. We love all of that stuff. And everything in our mind is like, I can't hit send until I absolutely know it's perfect. I'm not launching this until I know I have all the steps in the place. What we're actually doing, and I could be wrong, some industries might be different, but in our industry, we're slowing our agents down. They need that system, they need that launch, they need that model. We need to have this process in place for whatever it is that we're doing. And because of our need to be perfect, we've just taken the foot off the gas. You got to keep your foot on the gas. It doesn't need to be right to the floor, but just keep your foot on the gas and keep going. Implement the system, tweak it as you go, figure out where the gaps are as you go. You won't know until you try. So remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. We get caught up in all those details and it slows down our leaders, slows down our own growth. Okay? And then, see, just check time here. I know we're running out. What do I got here? Have a voice. So I'm going to go quick here just for the sake of time. This is really important to me that I pass this on to you guys. Have a voice. Know the vision. Know your company's vision. Okay? Create it or treat it like it's your own vision when you come in every single day. So it sounds so cheesy, guys, and please don't think I'm cheesy. I wake up every day and it feels like Christmas. I'm so excited to get to the office because there's 1,000 things to do. Every day is different because I make that happen. When it starts getting repetitive, and it does, you'll go through waves. And when it gets repetitive, start looking at your systems and how you can grow them out. Put them into a virtual world if you haven't already because of COVID. Offer insight and feedback on the vision of your company because chances are people here have been in the company longer than a lot of the other employees or colleagues and coworkers, and you probably know a lot more than you really want to share, or you pretend you don't know enough. So stop with the whole, back in the day, I think a lot of us felt like we need to be seen and not heard. That's not the case anymore. People, you are building a career. Your voice matters. You probably know a lot more about the company than a lot of people you work with, and your opinion can probably change lives. So don't ever let that slip your mind. I want you to take a minute after this call, and I really want you to think about it, okay? I want you to think about what you could do to contribute that you've been holding back, and stop holding back. If you change your thinking and start saying, I have a career, which I would love for everyone to do after this call, because from that moment on, that's all you will have. And I don't mean all you will have, but that's what you will start to feel, is that you've built a career. And then my final thought. Oftentimes, we are the ones that lift others up in the world. Let's be honest, we're the support for them at their weakest moments. We work hard to keep our leaders on top. Being number 4 in Canada feels great, but guys, it's a lot of work every single day. We don't look at our competitors because we just don't feel like there's competitors in our industry. Stop looking at people as their competition and look at them as like, what are they doing? And how can we maybe implement some of their systems? For me on this call, it's really important that if you're all from different industries, that you connect and figure out what ideas others administrators have that could cross over into another industry. So enjoy knowing that you create powerful leaders. My biggest tip for success is by letting your voice be heard. And I am the first person in the office every day. I refuse to let anyone beat me in. because I spend my quiet time before they all hustle in here on researching, looking for new things in our industry, going outside of our industry, finding who I can connect with that will lift me up and give me more growth and that I can learn from, because everything that I learn and I bring to the team contributes to our success. And we're going for #1 in Canada. That's our goal. We have 2 months to do it. So I'm here for anyone else. And if anyone's looking to research industries every day, you know, I'm your girl. If you want to connect and we can figure out how we can all cross paths in the industries and learn from one another, that would be amazing. Instead of keeping your secrets to yourself, share your success. It builds you up as a CEO mindset. And then that's it for me.